Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivracharya Sutra Sati Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Chandaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki, ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki, Prem Se Ko Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shamkun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki, वृंदावन धाम की, मथुरा धाम की, नवदीप धाम की, श्री जगन्नाथ स्वामी की, यमुना माई की, श्रीमती तुलसी देवी की, सामवेद भक्त वृंद की, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदी. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutala Srimate Bir Krishna Goswami Namo Namo Vishnu Padaya Prabhupada Priyate Shri Krishna Nishta Tasya Bhakti. Hare Krishna, good morning. Welcome to this morning Srimad Bhagavatam class in Sri Radha Gopinath Temple, North Sydney, brought to you live on Mayapur TV channel, on Sydney channel, ISKCON Sydney YouTube and Facebook. So this morning we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 4, and the chapter is chapter 20. Chapter 20 is titled Lord Vishnu's Appearance in the Sacrificial Arena, and we are reading from text 33. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay. Tattvam Kuru Mayadishtam. Tattvam Kuru Mayadishtam. Apramatha Prajapate. Apramattah Prajapate. Mad Adesha Karo Lokha. Mad Adesha Karo Lokha. Savatrapnoti Shobhanam. Sarvatrapnoti Shobhanam. Tattvam Kuru Mayadishtam. Apramata Prajapate. Mad Adesha Karo Lokha. Sarvatrapnoti Shobhanam. Tattvam Kuru Mayadishtam. Apramata Prajapate. Mad Adesha Karo Lokha. Sarvatrapnoti Shobhanam. Tattvam Kuru Mayadishtam. Apramata Prajapate. Mad Adesha Karo Lokha. Sarvatrapnoti Shobhanam. Tattvam Kuru Mayadishtam. Apramata Prajapate. Mad Adesha Karo Lokha. Sarvatrapnoti Shobhanam. Tattvam Kuru Mayadishtam. Apramata Prajapate. Mad Adesha Karo Lokha. Sarvatrapnoti Shobhanam. Satyam kuru mayadishtam Apramata prajapate Mad adesha karo loka Sarvatrapnoti shobhanam. Okay. Tad, therefore, tvam, you, kuru, do, maya, by me, adishtam, what is ordered, apramata, without being misguided, prajapate, O master of the citizens, mat, of me, adesha karaha, who executes the order, lokaha, any person, sarvatra, everywhere, apnoti, achieves, shobhanam, all good fortune. So the meaning, the translation and the purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. So the translation this morning reads, My dear King, O protector of the citizens, henceforward be very careful to execute my orders and not be misled by anything. Anyone who lives in that way, simply carrying out my orders faithfully, will always find good fortune all over the world. So we can all repeat. My dear King, O protector of the citizens, henceforward be very careful to execute my orders and not be misled by anything. Anyone who lives in that way, simply carrying out my orders faithfully, will always find good fortune all over the world. Okay, so this is our very nice shloka this morning to teach us how to find good fortune, if anyone is looking for good fortune. So the purport, the sum and substance of religious life is to execute the orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And one who does so is perfectly religious. In Bhagavad Gita 18.65, the Supreme Lord Krishna says, Man mana bhava mad bhaktaha. Just think of me always and become my devotee. Furthermore, the Lord says, Sarva dharman parityaja mam ekam sharanam vraja, which means give up all kinds of material engagement and simply surrender unto me. That's Bhagavad Gita 18.66. This is the primary principle of religion. Anyone who directly executes such an order from the personality of Godhead is actually a religious person. So there is the definition of who a religious person is. A religious person is anyone who directly executes such an order from the personality of Godhead. Others are described as pretenders. Others are described as pretenders. For there are many activities going on throughout the world in the name of religion, which are not actually religious. For one who executes the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, however, there is only good fortune throughout the world. So this is a brilliant text this morning for anyone who is following whatever is going around in the world today. So a little bit of pranam. So Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swa Padantikam Vande Ham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu, Deen Bandhu Jagate, I missed that one. Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुव एव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधारा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So the bottom line for this is actually everyone knows that we have to follow the orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And how we do that, how do we know what is the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? So for those of us who do a little bit of reading, will know that they have to read Bhagavad Gita for the instructions of God. Recently we have been doing these Bhagavad Gita shloks on Tuesdays. We have this kirtan on Tuesdays. We also have kirtan on Fridays now, which is really good for those who were asking me whether we should attend Friday or only Tuesday or whatever. I said, well, according to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we should have kirtan every day, every single day. Because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was singing at Srivas Angan, Srivas Thakur's house every evening. And he would have kirtan there every day. So we should follow along those examples. So we should have kirtan every day actually. So how do we know what is the order? Coming back to the original question, how do we know what is the order of this Supreme Personality of Godhead? It's actually very clear in the purport. It's been written 18.66 Bhagavad Gita, that I'm actually going to read 18.66 if I can. Here we go. Directly, so we understand exactly what Lord Krishna said in his words. Like I said, on Friday we have the Bhagavad Gita readings, and in that I have mentioned, and everybody understands, that I try to say that we read Bhagavad Gita as it is. What's happened is the Bhagavad Gita has been translated by many people out there, and it's not always Bhagavad Gita as it is. And many times it is Bhagavad Gita as it should be, as understood by somebody else. So the encouragement is that we read the Bhagavad Gita in order to understand what is the order of the Personality of Godhead. What does he want for us to do? So on Fridays I just pick a random shloka, and it always turns out that somebody or other has that particular question, and they've approached me every single time. So we were looking for the answer for this. We had this question and we wanted to know what to do, but we didn't know what to do about it. We didn't have the answer. And then today I just opened, according to them, today they opened the Bhagavad Gita shloka and they got the answer. So many times we are wondering what to do, where to go about, what to do about a particular situation, how to deal with a particular situation. Or you may even have a question about Lord Krishna. What is this about you? Or why do you do certain activities? Why do you come down? Why are you, why do you bother to come down at all? You come down, according to us, at very long time intervals. So these questions he answers in the Bhagavad Gita. It's all there. So I was going to read to you what he told us in general. In Bhagavad Gita 18.66, he says, abandon all varieties of religion. Very clearly. He says, abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. So he is aware, Krishna is aware, that there are many religions out there. So when we preach to people and we say, well, you are following Christianity, you're following something else, how do we basically deal with the questions like that? Because the debate comes up, your religion is better than mine, or my religion is better than yours. So how do you actually explain? So one of them is, like for example, I'll take the demigods, Lord Shiva for example. He is a Mahavaishnav according to our scriptures, and there are many Lord Shiva devotees out there. And they say, okay, well, we are Lord Shiva devotees, he's God. And then the question then comes up, then if he's God, then who is he chanting on? Sometimes you see him in samadhi, in austerity with the Rudraksha beads, with japa. So who is he chanting on? Can't be himself. On the other hand, you see Lord Krishna. Have you ever seen Lord Krishna sitting there with beads and doing a japa? The only thing we see in Krishna's hands are what? A flute. He's running around playing a flute. The reason he doesn't have a japa bead is because he is God. He can't call himself. There's no one higher than him to call. So that's one way that we can explain. The other one is that in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna displayed his Virata Roop, which is many, many different forms of the Lord. No one else has done that ever. As far as Christianity is concerned, we respect Christians highly, because he's a messenger of God, and he tells us there is no one goes through to the Father except through me. So Christ never said he's the Father. He always says, I'm the Son. So we have to find, everybody is in this maze trying to find God. So we have to explain quite delicately. Bhagavad Gita is the way to describe it. Now, that was actually not my intention to speak about that at length. What I really wanted to cover today was actually something from Sri Chaitanya Charimrita, and it's from Madhya Lila, chapter 24. Chapter 24 of Madhya Lila is the 61 explanations of the Atmaram verse. So what happens is Sanatan Goswami, he tries to explain to Lord Krishna on his own realizations on who the Supreme Personality of Godhead is. We know who is Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's Krishna. We know that. So he tries to explain a lot of shlokas. And he has this wonderful discussion with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And it is actually here that in length, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu describes what are the instructions of God. So this chapter, Madhya Lila, Chaitanya Charimrita, if anyone has the time, they should read it. After reading this, the shloka in Bhagavad Gita 18.66, where it says, abandon all religions, that is really unpacked. And at depth, the meaning of this particular shlok, abandon all religions, comes up. And how to do it, and what is the meaning behind it. The way it was explained is, when I was reading this personally, it made me want to leave everything, including my job and everything, and just sit and chant Hare Krishna. That is so powerful, this particular chapter, in guiding us on how to be a religious person. What does it mean to be religious, to be honest? Does it mean you have to follow a certain ritual every day? Or does it mean you have to, offer opulent things, on your altar every day? No. It simply means, in one short sentence, surrender unto Krishna. That's what religion is, really. And then, how do you surrender unto Krishna? So, this particular shlok, this particular chapter, has explained many things. So I'm going to actually go straight to text 100 on this and read from there what is, because we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam this morning. And this is what was explained about the Srimad Bhagavatam, which has got everything to do with becoming religious, becoming Lord Krishna's devotee. It has got everything to do with surrender to Lord Krishna. It is explained wonderfully. Text 100 of chapter 64 of Madhya Lila Chaitanya Charimrita. I'll read the translation. The translation says, the great scripture Srimad Bhagavatam, the great scripture Srimad Bhagavatam, which we are reading from today, is compiled by Mahamuni Vyasadeva from 4 original verses. It describes the most elevated and kind-hearted devotees. It describes the most elevated and kind-hearted devotees and completely rejects the cheating ways of materially motivated religiosity. It propounds the highest principle of eternal religion. The highest principle of eternal religion, which can factually mitigate the threefold miseries of living being and award the highest benediction of full prosperity and knowledge. Those willing to hear the message of this scripture, those willing to hear the message of Srimad Bhagavatam in a submissive attitude of service can at once capture the Lord in their hearts. Therefore, there is no need for any other scripture other than the Srimad Bhagavatam. So, a lot of people will tell you, yes, Prabhu, you have a comment? No? A lot of people will tell you, oh, Srimad Bhagavatam saved my life. They will come and tell you, Srimad Bhagavatam saved my life. Many aspects of many devotees. It is really important for us to distribute these books, because you don't know whose life you are saving out there. And it may not be directly that person, it might be somebody else who just come randomly and picked up the book. And then through the Srimad Bhagavatam, they realize God. And you do need some kind of guidance. Otherwise, it's just a concoction of our own perceptions, and we get misled. This is my personal experience also. Devotees of Sri Krishna Kalya Temple in Lotoka, Fiji had given our family a set of Srimad Bhagavatam. I wasn't there at that time. I was in university studying in another country. So I came home, I didn't know much about Krishna, and I didn't know what else to do. So I picked up the books and started reading. And because I had lots of time, I read the whole set, practically. But these books, the Srimad Bhagavatam, had such a profound effect. Whatever it is that I must have read or understood, years later, I met up with some devotees or so-called pretenders. I hadn't turned into a total devotee at that time, but they took me home, and my husband at that time took us both to their house and started preaching the Bhagavad Gita. And the dinner on the table was goat meat. Goat meat. And they were preaching the Bhagavad Gita. His wife was an English lady from England. He was Indian himself. And I sat there, even though I was not a devotee, not full-fledged devotee, but I had read the Srimad Bhagavatam years back, when I was a young girl. So then I said to him, the objective of religion is to get liberated so you can reach Godhead. And I said, you can't cook goat meat, kill animals, and then preach the Bhagavad Gita. And basically I repeated what I had read in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and he was very offended. Prabhuji, you can take the chair if you like. He was very offended, and he demanded, he was basically thumping on the table. I want to know who your guru is. Who is your guru? Oh, I was not even a Hare Krishna devotee, let alone have a guru. So, the magic of the Srimad Bhagavatam is so powerful that it can actually overcome these pretenders, pseudo-religions. So you can't do things like that. I had no respect, and my husband at the time was thinking, let's get out of here. My wife, I was having a go at the person who's invited us for dinner. It's very rude. What to do? So then this particular shlok I really like in Chaitanya Charitamrita, where it says Srimad Bhagavatam has actually concocted, has got a whole summary of what religion is all about. And then the Chaitanya Charitamrita also has got a brilliant story in this particular chapter, which is chapter 24 of Madhya Leela. Lord Chaitanya himself, he speaks. He speaks on the instructions of the personality of Godhead. And he instructs Sanatan Goswami, so that Sanatan Goswami can later on write these books, so that we read it and then we get the knowledge by which we can reach Godhead. So he tells Sanatan Goswami that this particular example, he gives many examples. In Chaitanya, in this particular chapter, he describes the story of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11 as well. There are 9, are they called Vasudevs or something like that, 9 rishis, 9 sages, who go and speak to Lord Brahma. And Lord Brahma instructs them on the Srimad Bhagavatam. They were not particularly, they were following some kind of Vedas, but they were not particularly reaching Godhead. So they actually changed their minds. And they became devotees of Lord Krishna. Lord Brahma only had to recite the Srimad Bhagavatam to them. That was one part. But the fantastic story that he told, which I'm going to relate now, which I like reading a lot, is about Migrari, the hunter. He was, one day what had happened was Narad Muni decided to go into the forest. And there in the forest, Narad Muni came across a deer that was shot by an arrow and was dying and suffering in pain and had his both his legs broken. And Narad Muni felt a lot of compassion for the suffering and the pain of the deer. And he walked a few more steps and he found a boar, like a pig, in the same situation. He had an arrow shot through him. And he was not dead, but he was hardly living. He was crying out in pain, suffering. And Narad Muni thought, oh no, there's another animal here. Somebody has shot them and hasn't fully killed them, and they are suffering in pain. He walks a little bit ahead, and then he sees a rabbit in the same situation. So then he wonders, who is doing this, shooting arrows and not really killing these animals, but leaving them to suffer and die in the most excruciating, painful way. So then he goes a bit further and he sees a hunter hiding behind the trees. And his complexion is blackish and his eyes are like red and he looks very demonic. And he approaches him. Are you the one who's shooting these arrows? And who are you? He asked, who are you? And he said, I'm Mrigrari, the hunter. I hunt these animals. Yes, I have shot them. It's my job. It's my daily bread. But Mrigrari was a little bit annoyed at, he respected Narad Muni. He knew he was a sage. So he said with all respect, you have simply chased away these animals that I was going to shoot. There was some more over there. Then Narad Muni asked him, why are you shooting all these animals and not fully killing them? Because all those animals that he was waiting to fire at, they saw the conversation, they ran away. So Narad Muni, when he asked him, why are you only half killing them? So the hunter said, there is pleasure in it. So he did it because he liked it. He said, that's what my father taught me, and his father before that. And it is a pleasure to watch these animals suffer. Can you imagine? There are people out there who are like that. And more so in this day and age. Actually, Kali Yuga is advancing and times are changing very fast. Our administrators in the country are very much following what Magrari Hunter used to follow. They take pleasure in other people's pain and suffering. So Narad Muni said, do you know? Then that's when Narad Muni started his preaching in a very nice way. He said, do you know that if you do that, then these animals in another life will come and kill you and you will suffer the exact pain that they are suffering. This rabbit, this deer, this boar. So you are going to be suffering pain like that for every animal that you've done this to. So there are devotees out there who say, I've got a strong spiritual master behind me. So I may do this, that, I will be saved. No. The rule is that whatever you do, you have to bear the consequences of it regardless of a guru or not. The only difference is that after suffering the consequences, you will be given a chance to come back to Krishna yet again. The other option for those who don't have a guru, they will have to start all over again and find a guru one day, or just continue sinning over and over and over without the guidance. That is the only difference. So when Magrari the hunter heard about all this, he was really concerned. He didn't know about it. So now he's got the knowledge. Like Srimad Bhagavatam, it gives us the knowledge. If we really read the Srimad Bhagavatam and understand it, we have the knowledge. Then we start applying it. So he said, then what should I do? So he asked Narad Muni, and Narad Muni said, well, then he takes shelter of Narad Muni. So that is quite interesting. He trusts Narad Muni, just like we take shelter of Srila Prabhupada and his disciples. So Narad Muni said, I'll tell you what to do. First of all, break your bow. So then Magrari the hunter said, if I break my bow, then that is basically letting go of my daily bread, my living. How am I going to eat? What am I going to eat? Who's going to bring me food? So Narad Muni said, don't worry about that. I will send somebody to bring you food. Whatever you need. He said, you should break your bow, which he did. The hunter broke his bow. And he said, you should also give away all your material possessions and collections which you had out of these animals. Distribute them. And you should go by the river, build a house there, and chant Hare Krishna. That's what he told Magrari the hunter. So Magrari went home, told his wife. They sold everything, they distributed everything, they didn't sell everything, distributed all their material possessions, went by the river, built a little hut, and started chanting Hare Krishna, worshipping Lord Vishnu. And what happened was, true to his word, whatever Narad Muni had said, the food supplies started coming every day. In fact, the word got out. That's the thing. If something happens, the first thing that happens is the word goes out in the community that such and such person is doing such and such thing. Nothing is secret in ISKCON. You might say, oh, Prabhu, Mataji, I'm telling you my situation in confidence. Confidentiality. There's no such thing. In ISKCON, there's no such thing. So whatever you utter, whatever you tell, speak with the knowledge that it's going to be known by everyone. Devotees they try to be helpful, so they try to know everybody's business. Sometimes they help and other times they don't. Most of the times they don't, unfortunately. It makes things worse. However, the word got out about Magrari Hunter. And it said, oh, this Hunter has turned into a Vaishnav, a devotee. So now we should go and help him. So the village people, the community members, they brought lots of food every day. In fact, they brought food for 10, 20 people. And Magrari said, we're only a couple, there's only 2 of us, we only need this much. But they got an abundance of food. And that's what Krishna does. He's actually told us in Bhagavad Gita 9.22, the shlok, that I will carry what you have, and I will supply what you don't. I will preserve what you have, and I will carry what you need. He will give you what you need. It's true. Help just comes out of nowhere for devotees when we need help. It's a fact. However, you've got to be a sincere devotee. You can't be a pretender devotee. It's a difference. So then one day, Narad Muni's best friend is called Parvat Muni. They were having a conversation, and Narad Muni said, why don't you go and see my disciple? So the effect is that Narad Muni, he took the Hunter as his disciple. Somebody who's torturing and killing elements. The degree of compassion of Narad Muni. This is like Srila Prabhupada. There was lots of stories about Srila Prabhupada. He's, especially by his godbrothers in India, he's taken disciples who are malicious in the West. They're taking drugs and it was 1970s. They were doing all sorts of things. He accepted them. Why? Because like Narad Muni, he has the power potency to do so and change them into Vaishnavas. And these days, those very devotees from the West and their children and grandchildren are much better Vaishnavas than you'll find in India. Much, much better. Because they, like Lord Krishna's instruction said, follow my instructions. They actually follow what Srila Prabhupada said. They did not bring those politics or those whatever ideas they've learned in their own culture, which has been developed by other people. Translated, our Vedas, our scriptures have been translated by people to serve their own needs, their own perceptions. So they are not following Bhagavad Gita as it is. They are following Bhagavad Gita as it should be by somebody else. And that is why you will see a difference when say, oh, this is a Westerner, but he's such a great devotee. He's doing this. You can see the effulgence coming out of them. And they feel kind of, we come from India, we know better than you. Or we, have the background of Lord Krishna, we know better than you. Yes, you might know Krishna, but you might not be following as it should be, according to Srila Prabhupada. You might be following something which is diluted and has been changed along the way. So if you really compare, you compare somebody who's following Lord Krishna's instructions as he wanted you to, and you follow somebody else's instructions, you can see. There is no competition on who's the better devotee. Really, it's a degree of surrender you have to Krishna, obviously. But still you've got to follow. You can't be following a pseudo-religion as such. So Narad Muni here had accepted the Hunter as his disciple. Wow. So then Parvat Muni said, okay, yeah, I'll go and see your disciple. And they both go actually. Parvat Muni and Narad Muni, they both go to see the Hunter, and the Hunter sees them coming from a distance, and he's absolutely in joy, ecstasy. My spiritual master is coming, and he wanted to offer danvats, but, obeisances, but he couldn't straight away because there were ants running around his feet. They're circling his feet. So with a piece of cloth, he swished them away, he drove them away without killing them. And there was a time when he was killing animals. But here he was even appreciating the life of a little ant. So first he removed those ants, then he offered his obeisances. And then Parvat Muni was amazed. Narad Muni, your disciple is amazing. Why is he amazing? Because he's following instructions. So then he washes their feet. He gives them a place to sit. And then, of course, the story ends happily. And then he tells Narad Muni, you've been giving me food, from your blessings, but it's too much. I only need food for 2. So they're even further amazed that this hunter who used to, kill animals for pleasure, have more than enough for his, for his own use, is completely turned around. And that's what Srila Prabhupada did to the Western devotees. And we have amazing devotees today. Simply by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, but also the scriptures he shared with us, the Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charimrita. In this particular shlok for this morning, Lord Vishnu has come down and told Maharaj Prithu, you are an amazing personality, just follow my instructions. He's told Maharaj Prithu. What had happened was Maharaj Prithu over here, he was doing the horse sacrifice, 99, and Lord Indra was interfering in his horse sacrifice. So he got very angry and he was prepared to have a fight with Lord Indra. So then Brahma came down and said, no, Maharaj Prithu, you are a nice guy. You have a kingdom to look after. 99 horse sacrifices is good enough. You don't have to do the whole 100. And then Lord Vishnu, being very pleased, comes down as well with Lord Brahma. And so does Lord Indra. And Lord Vishnu requests to Maharaj Prithu, forgive Lord Indra. And I'll give you whatever you need. So Maharaj Prithu embraces Lord Indra, embraces him, forgives him, and then Lord Vishnu tells him, follow my instructions. So that's the shlok that we are reading. Follow my instructions, he says. And this is the same thing for us. How do we follow Lord's instructions? We read the Bhagavad Gita, or we read Srimad Bhagavatam. Or we read Srimad Bhagavatam. We have to read it with the service attitude and the kind of attitude that the Magrari, the hunter, had. He took shelter of Narad Muni, trusted him completely, and then did what he was asked. He didn't do anything else. So that concludes our story for today. Are there any comments or questions? Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Yes. Run around. Yes. Yes. Mm. 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 Yes. 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 So you've seen the slaughterhouse. Yes. To shoot. Oh no. Yeah. Yes. Mm. Oh gosh. Yes. Mm. Yes. Yeah. Dinner. Yes. Oh gosh. See, that's a story right there. That a real life story. How cruelty to animals. Um, we watch it, then we feel compassion in our hearts, and we change completely. It's the compassion within you, in your heart, without even knowing, without any guidance. Actually, it's said that it's the bad association we keep, then we, or the way we are brought up. That's what we learn, that's what we know, and we think it's right. So it's really, really by Lord Krishna's mercy that you managed to find a legendary guru like Tamal Krishna Maharaj. But it's the compassion in your heart. But it is correct that that animals are killed just for pleasure, like you said, for the chook. It's happened, and sometimes when we are on Facebook, social media, and this suddenly a reel comes up, and you are shocked because I saw in the reel, live lobsters being put in hot boiling oil and things like that, and sea creatures in hot boiling water, and they are struggling, and they are suffering in the worst possible way, and they don't realize this is a life. If they could speak our language, they would say that they are in pain. So even our devotees, who are all vegetarian, of course, we are vegetarian to the point that we basically take it for granted that we are vegetarians. We are not eating animals, but we don't really think about how, at that time, we don't think that we are being compassionate to animals. We are not eating meat because out of compassion for life. So yes, and Prabhupada stressed on this so much. Even my own guru, uh, when we listen to his classes too, the compassion towards animals. So much so, right now, when we go out, actually hardly I can buy anything outside. Can't buy anything outside to eat, unless you go to a fruit shop or a supermarket, and cook things. You have to read ingredients. Everything is contaminated by blood, animal blood. It's very difficult to be a devotee in that way. But yes, this compassion is what's going to save us. And Bhumi Devi, the planet Earth, she is Satyabhama's another manifestation of Radharani, Satyabhama, Bhumi Devi. And so she's not just a mother, she's a goddess. And she is witness to everything that's happening. And this slaughterhouses, cow killing, animals, spilling of blood of animals, babies, is upsetting her so much. Right now, we're having floods everywhere, earthquakes, fires. tornadoes. Mother Earth is witness, what we cannot witness with our eyes, what we know, however, through social media, through news, well, we don't see as much as she does. She's witness to everything. And she's expressing the pain and suffering of others. So whenever there's a earthquake or a tornado, we know it's the Kali Yuga. Yes. Yes. Mm. Yes. Correct. Mm. He never does. Yes. Mm. Exactly. Krishnatarians. Yeah. Yeah. That is why we read the Bhagavad Gita, to get our instructions, because in there it is said, like you said, offer with me with love, flower, leaf, water, fruit. We have to offer with love. Otherwise Krishna will not accept it. But we also have to remember Tulsi Maharani at that time. So Krishna will not touch anything without Tulsi Maharani, obviously. But that's where we get our instructions from. We have to offer those things. Otherwise, that's why Hare Krishna devotees, Vaishnavas, they won't eat anything unless it's offered to Krishna first. These are ways of reducing reactions, sinful activities. So if you really want good fortune to come your way, we not just follow instructions, we offer it to Krishna. Whatever we do, we have to offer for Krishna to reduce the sinful reactions. Whatever is done for Krishna does not carry a counter reaction that you have to pay for. You might do something selfishly for yourself, that might have a reaction. But if you do it for Krishna, there's no reaction. So there's a lot involved. But we have to be kind to animals. It is because we are not kind to animals that this world is in the turmoil today, actually. Yes, Prabhu. Yes. Which story is that one? Valmiki. Oh, yes, lovely. The Ramayana is amazing story. We don't have time to go over it, but the Ramayana has these wonderful stories. When you start listening to the Ramayana, we forget everything and everyone. Oh, Valmiki's story. Yes, Valmiki was apparently, from what I know, he was trapped somewhere, and I think in a tree, right? And pardon? Yeah, he was a hunter also. He was trapped, and he killed some birds, I think, right? And I wish I could know the story fully. But he was taught by Narad Muni to say, to say the mantra, Rama, Rama, Rama. And he said, I can't say Rama, Rama. I'm so degraded, such an wasted condition. And he said, okay, Narad Muni said, why don't you say Mara, Mara, Mara? And he said, Mara, Mara means kill. But Mara, 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 Rama, Rama, Rama. So he started saying Rama, 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 Rama. And once he said Rama, Rama, the powerful names of Lord Krishna was so powerful, he wrote the entire Ramayana, and now he's delivering souls left, right, and center. The strength of the holy name is so much. It's actually more powerful than Lord Ram himself, it is being said. How come? Well, Hanuman, when they were trying to cross the ocean, they were trying to build a bridge that will go from India to Sri Lanka. How would you build a bridge? So he wrote Ram on every stone and made those stones float. And guess what? Ram couldn't cross the ocean without stepping on the stones with his own name. So his own name is more powerful than himself. because stepped on the stones with his bhakti. So Valmiki was the one who wrote the Ramayana. He also converted just by saying Ram, 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 Ram. And little monkeys, they were able to defeat Ramayan's army just by saying Sri Ram. So the power of holy names is so much. Even Lord Ram had to take help of his own name to cross the ocean. Valmiki, yes. Yeah, death is Mara. So that and it converts. So he was saying Mara, 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 and it became Rama, Rama, Rama. But Valmiki also was told, I think, go home and ask your wife and children if they will take your karma, bad karma, for killing all these animals. So his wife refused, his children refused. No one actually said, we will take your share of bad karma for killing these animals. So he was very upset and disheartened. He came back. He said, nobody is going to take my bad karma. So he said, okay, you take shelter of Lord Ram. And to the point that he became such a great devotee, he wrote the greatest epic ever, the longest poetry you'll ever find. And when you listen to the Ramayana, oh, it's amazing. Treta Yuga. This was Treta Yuga. Satyuga, we didn't have Ram there. Ram, pardon? Mrigari, in which Yuga? I'm not quite sure about that. I'll have to find out. But it is Mrigari the hunter wouldn't have been around the Treta, not around Ram. It would have been maybe some other time. Dwapar is actually for Krishna. Treta is for Ram. And here in Kali Yuga we have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first. And then Lord Kalki. And we've also got Buddha. So Kali Yuga we've got quite a few. Yes, Prabhu, you might have the answer. Yes. 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 Right. The ghee. Yes. Sakla ghee, right. Mm. And we're chanting Hare Krishna. Yeah. The power potency of the Hare Krishna mantra is amazing. It has the power to negate everything, every kind of effect. Whether somebody is a non-devotee, they become a devotee. And somebody is trying to do something bad in order to counteract that. Or somebody is sick. If somebody is sick, then you chant for them. And they become well all of a sudden. Or you're about to hit an accident or something and you go, Hare Krishna, and the accident is averted. The power of the Mahamantra is unlimited. It is so strong. It is actually because of the Mahamantra that we are here as a devotee. If it hadn't been for the Mahamantra, we'd not be devotees at all. And there are stories around right now, has been around for a while, that there are negative energies. People are doing negative things. My Guru Maharaj was asked this question. And he said, why bother joining ISKCON if you don't have faith in the holy names and have faith in Krishna? That can negate every kind of bad thing that happens or somebody directs you to you. So the idea is to chant, but chant with faith, not automatically. And obviously chant a lot. And that will be, Krishna is victory. And there's nothing more powerful than Krishna. So thank you for listening. I'm well over time. Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Puran ki jai.